Welcome to the podcast Catch It, A New Perception. My name is Kit Duk. Think about how grateful I am today. How grateful I am to see the morning star rise again. How grateful I am for the breath of life. I believe it was 36 years ago today that I began to get to know my higher self. And in the 14th season of this podcast, at any time I could begin to reveal more about myself. I try not to make this about me. I try to make this podcast about helping people find a new perception, to have a new idea. Maybe to treat people differently, maybe to show up differently, maybe to be honest in a different way, to stop manipulating people. I try to encourage people to stop putting people down, to try to live different, to know that they can live different, to have faith in what it is they're doing. And I say this because when I started this podcast, I kept my entire name off it and just used the Gaelic or Celtic spirit name that I use. I kept my face off it. And I tried to put a podcast out there, not knowing what I'm doing, not knowing what direction this is going to go, and not knowing how many episodes I might do, how many seasons. I know nothing going into it, other than I'm going to do this today. What are you going to do today that will stick, that will keep going? What are you going to start today and stay with it? I believe it was 34 years ago today the last time I had a cigarette. I haven't had any drugs, including weed, any type of THC, any type of alcohol, in 36 years today. When I began to get to know my higher self, I had to leave certain things behind. I couldn't think, I can further my life with these in my life. Because what happens is they dim my wit and they dehydrate my soul. They take something away from me. Weed doesn't get me closer to other people. It doesn't get me connected to the Creator. It doesn't get me connected to my family. What it does is it separates me. And I don't want to be separated any longer. I want to be connected. I want to be able to be connected to that great spirit, to that mystery. I want to be connected to the people in my life. I want to be able to be honest with them and forthright. I want to be connected in a real way. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to change some terminology that I've used. I will do my best, and I will change the terminology I use. When someone asks how I'm doing or how I'm feeling, common question, being gifted cancer and being aware of it for the last 6 months that I have been gifted cancer, people will ask me how I'm feeling, and I need to get back to telling them I'm grateful. I feel grateful. Not talk about the side effects I have. When I don't talk about them, I don't think about them. When I don't think about them, they're not as present. That is the essence of this podcast. And then I fail to do it in my daily life. I fail to tell you that I'm grateful, remind myself that I'm grateful for what I have and what I don't have. I don't want more of everything anymore. I did at one time in my life. If I got something, I wanted more of it. More drugs, more alcohol, more sex, more whatever. I don't need more today. I don't need more cancer. I am aware that I have some carcinoma that I am dealing with presently, which had nothing to do with the tumor that was removed back last fall. I am learning something new all of the time about myself. One of the greatest gifts I've been gifted in the last 36 years is change. I have been able to change. I have been willing to change. I've taken action to change who I am, what I do, how I show up, how I act in the world, and how I react to a situation, to a person, to something that was said to me, how I react to something unsaid. I'm learning, and I will continue to learn. I will continue to change, and I will continue to be grateful. I have been gifted cancer because I have something to learn. I remember on one episode, I think said I was gifted 58 chemo treatments. I was gifted 116 chemo treatments. It was 58 different days in a 78-day period. I think I looked at a calendar and did that right. I was scheduled 2 to 3 treatments a day. And I did my best to be able to receive that gift to the best of my ability. I don't like talking about it. And when it's on my mind, I don't want to act like I'm not going to talk about it. One of the gifts I've been given is to be able to state what it is that I need to be honest about how I'm thinking and feeling. In the future, when I tell you that I'm grateful, I need to understand at that moment that I am. I don't want to forget that. Maybe I need to remind myself more often how grateful I am. That I feel grateful for a conversation with you. I feel grateful that you're in my presence. I feel grateful for what I've been gifted today. I can still see, not as well as I once did. I can still hear, not as well as I once did. I can still walk and talk. I can be present. I can get connected to people. I have so many things to be grateful for. My relationship with the Creator, my relationship with Mother Earth, my relationship with my mother, my family, my siblings, my children. I know on this podcast I said at one time, I have a daughter, and I spoke something of that. I don't reveal a whole lot about my personal life on this podcast. We happen to have 2 sons and 2 daughters. And I refrain from using their name just out of respect for the entire situation. Because if I speak of one of them, I'm trying to speak in a general way so other people can relate to it, whether they are referring to one of their children in their mind or a sibling of theirs if I'm talking about one of my children. I'm talking about one of my parents. I don't identify people by name because the name isn't important. What's important is that we realize that we're a lot the same. I need to realize I'm more like people than I am not like people. When I think that I'm different than other people, or not like you, or I'm not like this, or I'm not, then all I do is disconnect myself. When I realize how much I am like you, I think like you, or I feel like that, or I did that. Yes, I used to do that. I understand. There's empathy, there's compassion, there's gratitude. I don't know where I'm going in life. I don't know where I'm going with this podcast in the future. I have some ideas and I have some plans, and today I have some dreams. I didn't have dreams when I was a child. It's a whole story for another day. I didn't have dreams that I would grow up and be something or someone or with someone or have something. I didn't have those types of dreams. Couldn't imagine it, couldn't envision it, couldn't see it, couldn't see a future. It may be one reason that I'm grateful today. That when I'm gifted the breath of life, I'm grateful for it. I do not take it for granted. They can't exist simultaneously. I can't take something for granted and be grateful at the same moment. What I didn't know, and I've said this before and I will say it again, is that anxiety and gratitude run on the same neural pathway. So you can't have anxiety and be grateful at the same moment. So if you feel anxiety, find what you're grateful for. Bring it in. Encompass it in your body, in your heart, and know that you're grateful. And at that moment, you won't have anxiety. Maybe a little while before it comes back. It may not come back because you may find a way to be grateful and then live with it. And know that each day is a gift, not to be taken for granted. I remember when I was a teenager, I woke up and one of my sisters was up before I was. And she said, "Did you hear what happened?" And our friend had died the night before. And I knew it when I awoke, and I knew who it was, and I knew what happened. And he died after I went to sleep. I had a sense at that moment of what happened. Odd sensation. You don't know who's not going to be here tomorrow when you awake. It will happen to many of us in this lifetime. We'll wake up one day and find out that someone had passed yesterday or last week and you didn't hear about it a couple days ago. Sometimes these people will be very close to us. For me, it's allowed me to be grateful for the breath of life today. I don't get bitter, I don't get angry, I don't get resentful. When someone passes on and they return back through the south gate, back to the spirit world, no reason to be bitter, resentful, or to keep them here. They are to move on. I may be able to learn from them and they may be able to teach me from the spirit world, but I just need to love them the way I always did. I know I have much to learn. I know I am emotionally sensitive today. I have said many times, I do not deserve the life that I have. The people I have in my life who love me, the people I have in my life that I love. Because of the way I once treated people, I would have believed for a long time I don't deserve the life I have. I have been gifted a life that's been unbelievable, full of love and respect, full of intimacy and kindness. People who are gentle around me. People that teach me to be gentle and kind and respectful. And maybe after living this way for the last 36 years, I do deserve this. Maybe I am getting what I deserve and it's worth it. If you change the way you treat people, you'll get what you deserve. It may take a while. If you're still mistreating people, be kind to yourself and treat people different. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Doksha, okay?